blossom into a beautiful flower. And she's quite a lady. She gives so much of herself. But after the sponsor segment, we'll get to know her. So we're back. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Suleng. Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Suleng, and I am the community doula. I am so honored to be here tonight on your podcast. The pleasure is all mine. Now, Suleng, let's just get right into it. I am absolutely honored to have you, the community doula, here tonight on the podcast. So I am 31 years old. I currently reside in Flint, Michigan. I was born in Clarendon, Jamaica, and I left Jamaica when I was about 8 months old. I was adopted within my family. My mom brought me to Nottingham, England. I was in England until I was about the age of, I want to say until I was about 8. From there, we ended up visiting Africa for a few months. I was in Africa for a few months. And then I came to the United States on April 22nd of 2000. Yeah, so I came here on a visitor's visa. And of course, I'm a child. I don't know anything about immigration. I don't even know what immigration is. I just know I'm rolling through the airport. And so once you stay past that visa, you are now considered undocumented or here illegally. And so that was my story. I was undocumented until 2012 when President Barack Obama had enacted DACA, which is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. I did qualify for that. I went all through high school undocumented. I did receive a scholarship to University of Michigan Flint. It was a tuition and fee scholarship through the Incentive Scholarship Program. The Wade H. McCree Incentive Scholarship Program. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to accept the scholarship because I didn't have a social security number. At the time, we didn't tell nobody, really. We didn't really tell nobody about the situation as far as the people in the program until the very end. You know what I'm saying? I mean, That's not something you go around publicizing to anybody who will listen. Hey, right. I'm here undocumented. So unfortunately, the end result was that I was not able to accept the scholarship. So I lost that, which was unfortunate at that time, but everything happens for a reason. I wanted to go into teaching, but in a way, I'm glad I didn't go because I found that me becoming a teacher was not my purpose in life. Awesome. So, Suleng, what happened after high school? So, after high school, I did graduate from Flint Southwestern Academy. First, I couldn't go to college on a scholarship. So, I initially signed up for my community college, and I was going to go into cosmetology. I've been braiding hair since I was in high school. But, unfortunately, signing up for I was going to be considered an international student. Even though I've been in the country since I was 8, because I did not have my documents. I'm not a permanent resident. I don't qualify for, any type of federal funding. So I would be considered an international student. And I would have to pay the out-of-state tuition rates. I think that's what it's called. Excuse me if it's not the correct term. But that was like triple the times of an in-state tuition. That was like double, triple. It was a lot more. And I could only afford one class, I want to say. Because initially I was going to go into cosmetology, and then I switched that. And then I remember taking a class, was it early childhood development? I think that was the class that I took. Because at the time I'm thinking, all right, I'm still going to go into teaching, you know. Yeah. And I paid that money, and I will never forget this woman. I do not remember her name, but I will always remember this experience. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because experiences like this throughout my life shaped me into the woman that I am today, and why I do what I do as a doula. I didn't have all my money together. I gave the people in the cashier's office all I had, because at that time I thought it was, X amount of dollars. Come to find out it was supposed to be Y amount of dollars. And I didn't cry, but I know I was emotional because I'm just like, God, please. Please help me, Lord. I gave the cashier my money, and I remember this woman standing off to the side, like she had already, paid for her son's tuition. So I'm just assuming that she overheard the conversation we were having. And I remember going out to, I think my car at the time, and I remember she approached me and she asked me, did I have all of my money or whatever? Did I have it all? Ended up getting signed up or whatnot? And I told her, yeah, I gave all I have, and she gave me $100. And I just burst into tears, and she gave me a hug, and it's just like, those type of experiences fuel me as a person. You know what I'm saying? The selflessness, the giving back to the community, the trying to give back to the community. Absolutely. That was beautiful. Suleng, I have to agree. That was divine intervention, and that was just proof that God, your guardian angels, your ancestors, the whole time, and you weren't alone. And although it seemed like it was impossible, God has angels everywhere. And so that is just beautiful. And I'm so glad that happened for you. Your service to the community as a community doula is a beautiful assignment. I believe that is God inspired, because you are very successful. Recently, you had a community baby shower. Can you tell us about what happened with this very successful event? And do you plan to have any more of them? Those types of experiences have propelled me into the work that I'm doing now. They've shaped me into the woman that I am, especially as a doula. I've worked many jobs. I've worked at Amazon. I worked as a school bus driver. I worked at a barbecue stand. I have worked at a shoe store, selling shoes, and I'm not a salesperson by any means, but for some reason I find myself in these sales positions. Now I work remotely for a company, but I worked at U-Haul, just these random places just to get by. And I never was truly working my purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's always been on hustle mode, survival mode, go mode, until COVID hit. So, Suleng, how did you get started with the doula service? It is 2020. Everything is shut down. COVID is running rampant through the world. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember what.
Unknown caller.
The initial thought was about looking into becoming a doula. I just know that once I found the information, I'm just like, this is it. This is it. You know. You say you're calling. I took my postpartum training first. I initially was going to be certified through Doula. The training that I took through Lifespan Doulas would have qualified me to certify with Doula. At the end, I did not choose to certify with Doula. I certified with Lifespan. But I took my postpartum training first, and as I'm going through it, I just think back to the past where I've already kind of been in that role with assisting, my sisters in my life. You know what I'm saying? Best friends, but they like sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then a few months later, I took my birth training as a birth doula, or to become a birth doula, excuse me. And on day one of my training, I got a message from a good friend of mine. Basically, she was in Detroit, and another one of our good friends was in labor. And so that just threw me into it. On day one of training, I attended a home birth. What a blessing that was. That was a blessing and a beautiful experience. I talked to my trainer, before I got on the highway, because I'm in Flint. She was in Detroit. So as soon as we ended the class, I had to hit the road jack. And she gave me some tips, and baby boy came at 3:09 the following morning. I got to Detroit at about 7:30. And my friend, she was in labor. She was laboring in her tub. And then eventually she, went upstairs to her room. And it was just a beautiful experience. There was a midwife on the phone. It was myself, her mom, our mutual friend. And that was my first birth. And the fulfillment that I felt after that let me know that I was on the correct path in my life.
Awesome. That's just beautiful, Suleng. Beautiful story. Now, Suleng, most of us don't really know what a doula is. So can you clarify what a doula is, and if you accept insurances, and how they can contact you if they're interested in benefiting from your wonderful services?
So a doula is non-medical support, because sometimes people confuse midwives and doulas. So doulas are the non-medical support. And we provide you with emotional, informational, or educational and physical support during pregnancy, birth, and the immediate postpartum period. There's birth doulas. There are postpartum doulas where even though they meet you while you're pregnant, they jump in after you guys get home.
Okay.
There are PAL advocates, which I also am a PAL advocate as well, pregnancy and infant loss. And they support you, through miscarriage, abortion, stillbirth. The fertility advocates. There are different corners of this. I've heard of sibling doulas. I've heard of adoption doulas. You know what I'm saying? It's the support. Okay. We're not there to replace your partner. We're there to be a part of your support team.
That's awesome. I could have benefited from a doula back when I had my stillbirth before in 1989. I'm not trying to tell my age, but I think that's wonderful. All that support on those many levels, it's awesome. What is the name of your business?
So the name of my business is The Community Doula. And the inspiration behind that name is I'm a firm believer of community, and it does take a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
No one person can do this by themselves. I don't care how much we scream independent. I don't care how much somebody claims they don't need nobody. They only need them a God. God placed people in your life for a reason. And we all need help.
That's right.
And so as a community doula, I believe that is my purpose, is to serve the community. I recently hosted a community baby shower December 9th of 2022. And we were able to assist 18 families. At least 18 families received something from that. It was about 99% donation-based. No grants, no sponsorships, just donations from the community. And everything was, cleaned and set up in a beautiful way so that members of the community can come. There was no news promotion. It was 100% social media promotion. I didn't put flyers up or nothing like that. And that was the intention, to get flyers made, pass them out, hang them up in stores. None of that happened. But I don't want to say got rid of, but, we got rid of pretty much everything except clothes. We still have some baby clothes, so those would be cycled through for the next community baby shower. I would love to host another one, collaborate with a local organization here. Right now, there is no date set. I have a target month, but I don't have a date. Whether that's going to happen or not at this time, I'm not sure. However, once we start the planning process, get all of the details out, we will publicize it for the next community baby shower so that we can service the community again.
Well, I'm excited about your next event. I know it will be a success as the first one was. And I commend you for helping families without funding. And it's just awesome. You're doing a great work. So, Suleng, what is your role as a birth doula?
So my role as your birth doula is I meet you during pregnancy. I do a free 30-minute consultation just to make sure that we're a good fit. I believe that every client is not my client, and every doula that you meet is not your doula. That's perfectly fine. You have the right to shop around. I never say be with a person who you're not comfortable with. So that's why I always offer a free 30-minute consultation. After that, if we're a good fit, that's when we begin setting up meeting dates. We get to know each other during the times that we meet. We go over birth planning. We go over labor and comfort measures. And we just, go over the birthing process. You tell me what you desire, and we just go from there. It's really important that we get to know each other and familiar with each other during this time, because I'm going to be there while you're giving birth. And birth is a sacred process to me. And you don't want to be surrounding yourself with energy that you're not comfortable with, that you can't trust. Mm-hmm. And that is what I want as your doula, for you to be able to trust me, trust that I'll be able to help advocate for you, trust that I will put your best interests forefront. The goal is to get baby here safely.
Okay, all right.
As far as your birth doula goes, of course, birth planning, comfort measures, education. As your postpartum doula, I come in when you guys get home, light housekeeping duties such as if the baby's laundry needs to be done, light meal prep. If you need me to do dishes, if you need to take a nap, shower, if you need a moment for yourself, I'm there to assist you in any way that I can. My belief is that I will support you where you need the support. I meet you where you at. Now, will I be washing baseboards and painting the ceiling? No. But if you need me to cut up some onions and bell peppers, or wash the dishes, or do some laundry, or simply just sit there as you drink a cup of tea in silence and feed the baby, I most definitely can do that.
Suleng, I've heard that there's been some pretty exciting information concerning insurance coverages for this service. Am I right?
As of January 1st, Michigan will be reimbursing doulas that accept clients with Medicaid coverage. There are also several other insurance plans. It just depends on your county. Right now, I am in the process of getting set up with several insurance plans. So at a later time, I will be announcing on my website, www.thecommunitydoula.org, and my Facebook page, The Community Doula LLC, about the insurance that I will be accepting, and go from there.
Now, all those contact links will be in the bio. And Suleng, I thank you so much for shedding light on what a doula is, and I thank you so much for rendering those services. And so now, I always have to get an opinion. And I recently had a conversation with one of Suleng's clients, and let her tell you how beneficial the services were. So I discovered the community doula because the owner, Suleng, was taking her classes around the same time I was getting ready to have my son. So by the time she finished the classes, she was basically at the portion of the class where she was doing her clinicals to be a postpartum doula. So it was perfect timing then. So was the added support, was it beneficial for you? I think that postpartum support was very helpful during that time because of some personal things that were going on. It was a very stressful time. I was going from one child to having two and learning how to divide my time between the two and still have time for self-care and just focusing on myself. Okay, all right. It was also nice to have a trusting hand to hold the baby when I wanted to do dishes or if I wanted to spend some one-on-one time with my other child who was just getting used to being a big sister and having another sibling. Okay, that makes sense. I'm learning more and more about doulas. Now, is there anything else that would you recommend her or, what's your feelings about the overall doula experience? I would recommend doula services to anyone, most importantly to Black women, since we have a very high mortality rate when it comes to delivering children. A doula helps you, helps your voice to be heard in the delivery room, when you're in the throes of pain, helping you remember, okay, she wanted delayed cord cutting, or she wanted to labor on a birthing bar, she would like to be in the shower, or just things like that. Or if I was to say that I was in pain, she'd be able to relay that to the nurse and help them implement a plan, and just basically getting your voice heard. Also coming home and adjusting to having a newborn. Sometimes you might need someone to hold the baby while you get a nap in, or you might need to run to the grocery store. Just some type of support during that time. It sounds amazing. And I am grateful for the services that are offered to not only my own, but the community, because she is the community doula. And so I thank you for giving us an inside view on what a doula is and how it has helped you, And I hope that the listeners out there will contact Suleng and the community doula if you need that added support and if you need that assistance or just someone to sit with you and sip tea, some adult interaction. The community doula is your go-to. So I thank you so much for joining us on JTSP to share some inside experiences with the community doula. Oh, you're welcome. Anytime that I get to share accolades about Suleng is a good time. Yeah, she is wonderful, isn't she? Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much. You're welcome. And Suleng, I thank you for sharing your story, being so transparent, and thank you just for coming on the show. I pray blessings over your business and over those hands that are truly busy working for our community. Thank you for sharing your story with JTSP. It is my hope that it inspires someone who has been faced with difficulties, unforeseen obstacles in life. This is truly a love story from undocumented to a legal citizen and an entrepreneur, giving so much of yourself on a daily basis. I admire you, I love you, and I respect the work that you are doing in our community.
I appreciate your kind words so much. They really do mean a lot. And check me out, the Community Doula LLC.
I just love feel-good stories with a happy ending. And guess what? Hers is not even over yet because she's still a young woman. And I'm just sitting on the sidelines kind of watching her and waiting to see what else she does. But wasn't that a wonderful story of triumph? Thank you again, Community Doula, for gracing our studio. And as always, I send you love and light, peace and blessings to all who will accept. Thanks for following the Soul Path.